This is the talk show that takes a no-holds-barred approach to politics, where truth and integrity are the standard and the Constitution honored. From Renaissance Studios, this is Champion News Talk Radio.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net, where you can get all of your latest political news. This is Carol Parisi, along with our founder Jack Roser, and today our guests are Israel Ortega and Deb Gordils. Israel Ortega is with the Heritage Foundation, and he is the chief spokesperson to Spanish-speaking people for their media, and Deb Gordils is Hispanic Initiative for the RRC PAC. Welcome, Israel.
Thank you.
Welcome, Deb. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And how are you today, Jack?
What am I, chopped liver out here? No introduction?
I said Jack. I did. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. For an old goat, I'm pretty well cleaned up, yeah.
So what do you think of our guests, and what should we be asking them today about the Hispanic Initiative and what is going on?
I thought you had this all arranged.
Well, you know, I kind of do, but not perfectly. It's Sunday morning, it's early.
Well, it impresses me that he's here from the Heritage Foundation, and this is a young and vital man. He's not an overstuffed fellow that's, fixed in telling us what to do here. But I think we've got a wonderful man on the program because he comes from a great place and he represents a great opportunity in this country.
Thanks, Jack.
Could you tell us a bit about your story, Israel, your family, your heritage, and how you got involved with Heritage Foundation?
Yeah, absolutely. As I was saying before the camera started rolling, I'm an immigrant myself. I was born in Mexico, and my family came here because this is a country of freedom, of opportunity, liberty, and those are things that we didn't have in Mexico. And so my family and I moved to New York City, went to college, then moved to Washington, D.C. I had a passion for government, passion for politics that I acquired in college. And I moved down to Washington. I didn't have a job lined up, but I knew I wanted to work in Congress. And so I was just knocking on doors, looking for a job to open up in Congress. Finally, something did. And I started working as a press assistant. We're helping Congress members with policy. And in 2006, it was a bad year for the party I was working for. And so I was out looking for a job, and that's how I ended up at the Heritage Foundation. And it's been a real blessing in disguise.
Why are you conservative?
I'm a conservative for a number of reasons. One of the reasons that attracted me to the conservative thought growing in college was national security. I knew that there was something important about our country respecting or being mindful of adversaries around us, that there are people out there who hate everything that we stand for. And that was something that attracted me to the conservative foreign policy. But lately, one of the other reasons why I continue to be a conservative is because poverty, inequality, those are issues that really are near and dear to my heart. And I'm convinced that conservatives really have the right policies in place to lift people out of poverty, out of dependency of government.
So you don't believe that government is going to create jobs and create wealth for people?
No, absolutely not.
Well, I think that in adding to that is that Mexicans in America have traditionally not taken jobs, but have created jobs. Yeah. They open up the Mexican restaurant. They do the Mexican deliveries. They're constantly setting up vendors stations at different places. They go and create a job, a store within their community. It goes right back to this whole culture within a culture that we have here in this country.
And it helps
go back to the origin of the country and listen for a moment to John Adams, our second president. And he said, "We've given you a constitution for a moral and religious people, and it's suitable for the governance of none other." What he's talking about here is that the American citizen is going to be a free citizen and a responsible one.
That's right.
Well, where could you find somebody better prepared for that than in Mexico? They have a very decent religion. They have a tremendous family tradition, and that's what America is all about. It isn't about the government doing things for you. If you're sick or out of a job, it's your family. If you've kept your nose clean, and that's not directed at you.
Okay.
But you know, if you've acted decently with the family, you've got your own private welfare organization.
Right.
That is the best one in the world. Is your family.
Sure.
And Obama is never going to be the daddy of my family.
Right.
Nor any other stinking politician.
Although there are a lot of people who want to change that culture. They want to say that the government, you know, is responsible to take care of the welfare of the individuals, and a lot of Hispanic people, a lot of Mexican people are now coming here and are saying that makes sense. You know, I should just be, you know, collecting, you know, money from the government, and that's what we have to be careful of.
Well, this is the land of milk and honey.
Right.
You should be used to it from now, of having some guy come up to you and say, "I'm going to take care of you, Dolly."
Right.
You know that's a bunch of baloney.
It is a bunch of baloney.
He is never going to be our family,
and so maybe,
and he can't take care of us. It's a false premise.
Right.
And maybe that just opens the door to say that we as Americans need to make sure that we define who we are and what we're going to continue to be in this country. Because when we have newcomers on board, they don't have a U.S. history background. They don't have a knowledge of the American Constitution. So they are coming here looking at us and saying, what exactly is the protocol once I enter? What is that? And so, you know, those of us who are Americans and are here, we have to fight to continue to define what that is, because immigrants coming on board are just looking at us to take the lead.
Now what is your story,
We should welcome them. We should be kind to people as we would be to any other American.
Absolutely.
You know, in America, if you're drunk or sick and you fall in the street, I guarantee you, you will not be left there long.
And in Chicago, I have stopped a few and said, "Are you okay?
Are you okay?" Deb, what's your story? Now, are you an immigrant or a child from an immigrant? Tell us a little bit about. Tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
I'm compassionate about the issue. But no, I was born and raised in Chicago.
Okay.
My mother was born and raised in Texas, as was her mother before her, and her mother before her, and her
so
mother
you have
before.
a long lineage of being an American.
Right.
Okay.
My mother's side of the family was in Texas. We were able to get christening papers from the Catholic Church dating back to 1840.
Now, why are you conservative?
Because I believe in family, and I believe in life from beginning to end. I have a daughter who's adopted, who's, you know, every time I look at her, I know that she could have been, you know, an abortion statistic, and thank God that wasn't the case. And you've met Petra.
Oh,
she's just a doll. And
amazing child.
Yeah, she's great. And so I've always believed in life and family, and I always believe in the right to defend yourself, and sometimes because of the unequal stature, that just might mean a 9mm if you need to defend your family and yourself. And so I'm pro-gun rights. And I am a U.S. history major. That's my background from Loyola University. It's U.S. history and world studies. And so this is the best. I'm blessed to be living in the best country in the world.
Amen.
And in studying all that.
You're a dynamite person. You've got an awful. I'm really impressed with your energy. I found out this one isn't very tall. This is not Wilt the Stilt. But, she used to play basketball.
Chamberlain.
And if she ever got the ball, nobody's going to catch her.
That's part of my track team experience.
So you're passionate as a conservative about the social issues as well as our constitutional issues, and I guess being from the Heritage Foundation, and you are reaching out to Hispanic-speaking people through something called Libertad.org.
That's right, Libertad.org. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a Spanish. It's basically the Heritage Foundation's Spanish language website. Libertad means freedom in Spanish. So that's what we want to convey to the folks coming here, is like we're about freedom. And frankly, when you go online right now and you type in like Constitution in Spanish, or you try to find some conservative research, you're not going to find it. Now, because of this creation of the site, we have that tool. Now look, we're going to continue to telling people that look, to get ahead in this country, you need to learn English, patriotic, you need to assimilate in this country. We're going to continue making these arguments, but to make these arguments, we have to do it right now in Spanish, because if we do it in English, they're not going to understand. So that's one of the reasons what we're doing, that we're giving away the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution. We're making them read it so that they can see that we get our rights not from the state, like it is in some places in Latin America, but we get our rights from our Creator, and this is what makes.
I think the emphasis definitely needs to be that these immigrants come with no background knowledge of U.S. history.
And you know what? I would like to talk a little bit more about our Constitution, about our U.S. history, and how we could integrate our new immigrants, much like our old immigrants, in after the break.
I'm a businessman, and I hire a lot of people. And if they can't talk to each other, the quality of the product we sell is going to suffer.